guys, welcome back to the Mindtality podcast. I'm your host, Rodolfo Felix.
And co-host Eric, guys.
And you guys, we're ready to jump into this thing. But before we do that, I just have to say, Eric, this is our 20th episode, sir. It's been a very, very, very quick 20 weeks. It's been 20 consecutive weeks. I'm happy. I'm happy because this is something that I've been consistent with. This is something that we have stuck to. And man, the growth on the channel has been fun from video 1 to now. You know, the editing, the recording, the topics. You know, things are just starting to form for sure.
Yeah, I've absolutely enjoyed this journey. I know we started off like trying to like, okay, we could try this, we could try this. Oh, and now it's like, all right, we got this, you know, and we're getting the hang of it. We've had a lot of good special guests come on. We've enjoyed that. And what's even better is that we still got more plans. Like I believe we're having a doctor next on our podcast. So
that's right.
We got a lot of good things coming up as well. So it's not the end of it as well.
Yeah. And then like a little sneak peek too. I actually have a couple of different Marines that have retired. That we are potentially bringing on. So definitely got some new stuff in the works. But Eric, really quick, I mentioned last week, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it. I did mention that I've been having like a really good time right now in my life, like this period of the last 2 months or so. You know, my mental health, my physical health have been at tip-top magoo, and I could only what's the word? I could only credit it to one thing, and that's challenging myself. I cleaned my car, I detailed it, folded and washed my laundry. You know, this past week, or actually this past month, I've been doing laundry once a week, like folding it, hanging it up right away, because it'll sit on this recliner for a week if I don't. So just doing little things like that, Eric, have really have benefited me, and you know, are really peeling back the layers and really showing my true form for sure.
Yeah, challenging yourself is essential, and it's funny you mentioned the laundry thing, because that's I struggle with laundry too, but I've gotten better at it because I've, like you said, just you continue to just do it, right? You just force yourself to do it, then it becomes a habit, and then once that habit is there, it's hard to break. So you got to be uncomfortable to be comfortable, like our old baseball coach said. That's the best way possible to ever be better at things, right? Because like think about it this way: when you first get like a new batting stance, right? It's uncomfortable. It just feels weird, but then it's like, okay, this is the fundamentals. Then you keep practicing, and then it's like, okay, I get this, and I feel comfortable now in the batter's box, and my form is good. So it's a little bit of both ways like that.
Yeah, and the way that works too is putting yourself in that uncomfortable state is it's a very temporary fear. You know, it's very temporary, like uncomfortability, like the desire to not do it. It's very short term, you know, because once you do it and you start making a habit out of it, it becomes more of like a routine. It becomes more of like an easier process. I think what happens is you start thinking less and start doing more. And I think after you've hung up your clothes, after you folded and put everything away, you're just kind of refreshed, you know. And we talked about earlier before how just by washing your car, detailing your car, takes your whole like your whole mindset to another level. You know, you start parking differently, you start driving a little differently, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's true, you know, it's really true how your behavior, your physical your behavior can really change your mental state.
Yeah, it's funny because I know the exact feeling you're talking about when you just get your car detailed, or your
Ah,
car just like brand new
ah,
and clean, and you go
yes,
you start
dude.
backing in, which you never backed in before, right? You start like, I'm gonna go get some Starbucks real quick. Like, why you
Ah,
never drove in Starbucks? We have
right,
coffee here. Like, no, I just want to drive because I got a clean car. I'm proud of
exactly.
it, but I'm also like, this is just something that like you feel different.
Oh, completely different. Completely
Yeah.
different.
Same with like if for me, I wear like a nice suit and I put it
Uh,
on, I'm like, ooh,
yeah.
watch out.
You sit different, walk different. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's exactly why I've been challenging myself, Eric, with the gym. A little
Mhm.
quick gym check for you. I did go to the gym 5 days last week. Excuse me. We actually went to the gym together yesterday. Um,
Mhm.
we met there. We kind of did our own thing, but it's just that accountability is what's really important to me.
Mhm.
Um, on this podcast, you know what I'm saying? Consistency is important. I'm not saying perfection. I'm not saying a streak is important,
Mhm.
but consistency. You know, God forbid Eric and I have to miss a week of podcasting and ruin the streak. It is what it is, you know. But what's expected of us the following week? You know, to upload another podcast.
Mhm.
So, like I said, gym check. We did go to the gym. I've been going to the gym regularly. Eric's been working
Mhm.
like a savage lately. You want to break it down for us, Eric?
Yeah, so I started working my summer job here. I had graduated from my college on Monday, this last
Yes.
Monday. Yeah, we'll give it a little brief
The little
second.
one. Yeah,
This is the one, then we retain it and we go over to the next thing. All right.
yeah.
Yeah, so I graduated and then on that following Wednesday, right when I got back, I got back on Tuesday and then the very next day, no breaks this summer. The very next day I went down and I started working. So from Wednesday to Sunday, I'm working at a restaurant and I was a host. I was trained to be a host, but they're already training me to do other things because they said I got the host position down. So that's been keeping me really busy, and I enjoyed it. I love the restaurant. They're really good food. Um, People there are really cool, and I'm enjoying it right now. It's definitely different because this is a service industry job, and I've never had a service industry job. I've always worked in the courthouse and been doing internships through there. So this is my first time dealing with people um, and some of their weird requests in at a restaurant. Like I never would have thought uh, how difficult it would be to be in the service industry.
Yeah, I thought it was super cool when you told me that you're gonna get into to service. I was like, okay. I knew you'd be fine. You're very social. You've always done well. But
Hmm.
I just thought it was cool because, like you said, you've always had clerical positions. You know, being in an
Hmm.
office environment, that type of stuff. So I
Hmm.
also knew that this was gonna be a healthy experience for you. Um, you know, I think it's a little good that you get away from the office a little bit, you know, kind of socialize with people who are just there to eat, to hang out, and you know, you're just
Hmm.
serving them. Man, working those type of jobs really give you experience in life, you know.
Hmm.
It also tells you like what you do and don't want to do in life. Like when I was flipping patties, I realized like, look, the dream of becoming a chef is over,
Hmm.
you know? When I worked for Nordstrom and the dream of being like a fashion designer was over. Working warehouse.
Yeah, I
I
I
didn't
actually worked at warehouse too.
Yeah, and that dream is over, you know, and finally I'm in a field that I enjoy, and that's not over, you know. I'm actually in it to
Hmm.
win it, but it's always fun working those jobs, man. The stories that you leave, you know what I'm saying? The stories that you leave with are always memorable, and
Hmm.
I don't know. I just thought it was cool. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
And they have you working some interesting shifts too, kind of like some in the morning, some in that evening. And it's is it mainly a steak an evening steakhouse? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so they're from about 3 to 8 o'clock Wednesday, Thursday, 3 to 9 Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday is 3 to 8.
Okay, so like no more than 5 hours they're open.
Yeah, but Friday, Saturdays get pretty busy, so I'll
Okay.
I'll end up probably being there till about 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, 10 o'clock.
Okay, okay. Speaking of food, Eric, there's a saying that I heard on a podcast, and I want you to kind of break it down to me. Give us kind of like whether it's a true or false. How do you feel about it? I heard it on a podcast that if you want to motivate yourself not to go to fast food, just look at the people who are going in, or look at the people who are driving through it.
Hmm.
And I'm assuming he's referencing some thicker clientele. Is there some truth to that? Is that a way to kind of motivate yourself? Like it's almost like saying associate yourself with people who you want to become. You know what I'm saying? Like bad company corrupts good character. That type of idea of like, hey, well, if you don't want to, put on weight,
Mhm.
just look at the people who are going into that store, Look at the
Mhm.
people who are going into Chipotle for a chicken bowl or something compared to
Right.
someone who's going to Burger King for the 3 for $5 chicken sandwich special.
Yeah, different things motivate different people.
Okay.
Everybody has their own thing that they gets them to go. But I mean, like as far as the fast food, it's not necessarily the fast food itself, it's the portion size, in my opinion.
Uh-oh.
The
Uh-oh. So you can't power size, Eric?
you can't get that quadruple double with extra
What?
large fries and a unhealthy amount of soda that is nobody should be drinking.
What if the fries are insulted, sir?
No, no large fries. All right, you gotta
Okay, okay.
portion size. Like even on some of the menus, you can find the healthier options of the unhealthy options. So like at In and Out, for example, um, they have the protein style burger. So that basically means they take off the bun, which is the really fat part, and then they
Mhm.
replace it with like a lettuce wrap, and it's still a juicy hamburger,
Yep.
still good as can be because it's In and Out, and
Freshly made, yeah.
any of you know that's In and Out is can attest how great In and Out is.
Yes. Yes, yes,
But
yes.
it's just portion control, and if you really want to, like, you can still maintain your fast food um habits, but you gotta, I guess, control what you eat at the fast food habit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, and, what brought me to this question here, or this, topic is, I was actually dropping off one of my clients at work, and, I hit a left, Eric, and Wiener
Hmm.
Schnitzel was there, and I was starving, and I was like, "Ah, Wiener Schnitzel sounds good." Listen, I haven't been a Wiener Schnitzel in years, okay? So that was telltale sign of number 1 if I was hungry and I better keep going. But, I was trying to find a reason to not go through that drive-through, and I wanna bring up that point. It's like, when you wanna do something, when you have a goal in mind, for me, it's I don't wanna put on weight. I have to
Hmm.
do it right now, Eric. I don't wanna do it, but I have to say what I weighed when we started the, 3 weeks 2 weeks ago
Hmm.
with, I think we started when we had Kevin on the podcast,
Yeah, something around there.
about 2.5 weeks ago or so. Um, I weighed 187. I think that's where I was like when I was at like my like most intense working out regimen, like when I used to work out 6 days a week in the garage when I lived with my
Hmm.
parents. I
Hmm.
put up weight on purpose like that. I haven't weighed myself yet. But my purpose is I don't want to put any more weight on. I want to lose some weight. I want to put on some muscle.
Hmm.
And so I'm trying to find reasons to not go through the drive-through, and now I know. Thank you, Eric. Now I know that I could definitely prioritize a more healthier option and not feel
Hmm.
so guilty for sure.
Yeah, because it's not, I feel like it's just a big stigma that people put behind, like, oh, I can't go eat at that fast food restaurant. Like, yeah, okay, in reality, you don't want to be eating at fast food restaurants 5, 7 days out of the week. Fast food is more of, like you said, you hit you turn a corner and it's like, that looks good.
Yeah.
Or you worked late and it's like, I don't feel like cooking, I just
Mhm.
need to pick something up. Like, don't feel guilty that you have or get fast food. You just gotta eat right when you go there, right? Because they have the chicken salad menu, like a Wiener Schnitzel. Like, it's not gonna kill you to get a hot dog. Like, really, you know, there's other things to get too, like maybe like the jalapeno poppers you want to stay away from, even
Yeah.
though they're delicious.
No extra
Um,
cheese, no
yeah,
chili, what?
no, just try and get as simple as you can
Yeah.
and as healthy as you can. Like, and
Yeah.
definitely work on trying to cut out soda. The soda is a big thing.
Okay.
Get water, get tea, something that's a little less sugary without that corn syrup. That definitely is a big part too, and trying to lose weight. But I don't know much about it. I'm just telling you what works for me. Yeah. So
Okay.
as far as that's concerned, so what about the new uh MLB The Show?
Oh. Oh.
Oh. That just
Um,
came out.
we talked over the phone about this, and I'm pretty bummed out. I thought it was gonna be on all platforms. It was gonna be on
Mhm,
PlayStation first, of course, so then, Xbox gets the release, and then
mhm,
PC gets the release. But it turns out that only Xbox got the release, and it's not as
mhm,
likely for PC, which is
mhm.
computer, mouse and keyboard. Man, I loved the show when I had an PS4. Um, tell us about it, Eric. You're the one that has it.
Yeah, so MLB The Show is a baseball game for the PlayStation and now currently for the Xbox, where you get
Hmm.
to like build your own baseball team with athletes that are in the league right now, and athletes that were in the league. And so basically, yeah, that's the gist of it. But what I really wanted to talk about was that the fact that the Xbox is now this is their first time being able to play the show, and it's been kind of known that they're not the best at it because it's they're 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 just learning for the first time, and this is what kind of go I want that's why I wanted to bring it up because it ties to what we were talking about of being uncomfortable to be comfortable, right?
Okay, okay,
Right, so you got this new gaming thing that these Xbox players are like, what is this? We're not What is this, a sports game?
right,
What?
right.
And and so it's uncomfortable. It's a learning curve. It's just like anything else is in life. When you get something for the first time, or you're trying something new and you're challenging yourself, it's gonna be uncomfortable, and you gotta be uncomfortable to be comfortable.
Yeah, I love what you said about the learning curve. And the learning curve is honestly like it's a requirement for anything that you want to get into, and oftentimes the learning curve is what defines whether you stick to it or not. Some people are willing to go through it to learn whatever it is. And that's the reason why they chose to do it. The learning curve will make you or break you for anything.
Hmm.
But what I wanted to kind of transition to in regards to learning curve is discipline. That's
Mm,
a huge one. We know you we and as you guys can kind of tell, we're theming this episode. We're leaning towards more of like the discipline aspect,
hmm.
understanding that in order to do it, it may cause uncomfortability. In order to do that, it may cause consistency or require consistency. And there's two quotes, Eric. One is my all-time favorite quote that I've never shared with you before. And the second one is the one that you know of that I shared with you
Hmm.
yesterday. The first quote is, I'm only strong because I know my weaknesses.
Hmm.
And then the second quote was the Mike Tyson one where he said, discipline allows you to be the better player. Or I'm sorry, let me see. Discipline allows you to be the fighter that's better than you.
Hmm. Yeah, I listened to Mike Tyson talk before and about him and the mentality that goes into training for his
Hmm.
fights. And he describes it as becoming an entirely different person.
Yeah.
As just you train and you train, and it's just to a point where you're no longer you, if that makes sense.
Right.
You're no longer in that state of being that's like this is me. You're a heightened, a better,
Yeah.
a more prepared state that of what you normally are, right?
Yeah.
When he's going into that fight, he's got to be a different beast, an animal. He's got to be better than that person in the ring. So I love Mike Tyson. It's he's a funny guy,
Yeah.
but as far as his mentality, I love it.
Yeah, I heard something on a video yesterday that he used to run at the age of 14, he used to run a day 6 miles. At
Hmm.
14 years old, he said every single day he would run 14 miles or 6 miles at the age of 14. And that's just discipline.
Hmm.
And what what drove me crazy about that quote, discipline allows you to be the fighter that's better than you, is that it's not so much that you're more talented, that you're more skilled, you're stronger, you're faster, you have more genetics. It's not that. It comes down to the fact that when it was time to train, you did, and you didn't ask any questions. and you
Mhm.
went about your training like a savage, like you just
Mhm.
focused in, you know? And one of the things Tyson used to do on purpose was he used to deliberately run at 3, 4, 5 in the morning because he knew that whoever opponent he was facing or he was training for,
Mhm.
that they would be sleeping while he was running. And to him,
Yeah.
that it made him angry. Like I'm better than this guy. He's sleeping and I'm working. He was
Uh-huh.
trying to find every angle to beat his opponent before he stepped into the ring. And that
Mhm.
is what discipline is. Discipline takes your behavior to another level. Like there's no compromise. It's something like that you've decided, and you're not gonna let anything jeopardize your
Dang.
discipline. Your discipline.
Rodolfo, you're giving me some goosebumps over here.
Ugh.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's laser focus, man.
Mike Tyson is, like I said, one of the best mentality people that you can look to as an example. And I even when he goes in the ring, he says, "I knew when I entered the ring, when I looked in my opponent's eyes, I had already won.
Yeah.
I had already won."
Hmm.
Before the fight starts, before the fight even started, Mike Tyson takes one look into his opponent's eyes and he says, "I already won.
Hmm.
I'm already, it's it. It's done. It's settled." You know why? Because I was up at 3 a.m. when you were sleeping.
Ah.
You know
Ah.
why? Because
Yeah.
I was putting in work when you weren't putting in work. And
Yeah.
you know why? Because I want it more than you want it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And you guys, and this isn't even supposed to be like a Tyson podcast, but the mentality, the mindset, and the purpose behind his behavior has to be talked about. You guys, on purpose, he would wear no t-shirt walking into the ring. He would wear no shoes walking into the ring. There's been stories told that prior to the fight, like minutes before each opponent walks out to their walkout song or whatever, he would hit the walls of his opponents. He would like growl, like just the craziest thing. His interviews, he would talk about eating their kids. Like you guys, he was a monster at his field. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And he wasn't gonna let anybody stop him. He was the man, Eric. He was the man.
Hmm.
But my point about Tyson is that every area that he could manipulate, he did manipulate. And this is kind of weird for me to say, but he actually deliberately went without any form of intimacy for for about 3/4 of his career. And
Oh, wow.
coincidentally, towards the end, when he started falling off, is when he started engaging in, intimate relationships and a little bit of drug and alcohol abuse. So you could kind of see like a pattern of where
Hmm.
the behavior and discipline falls off,
Hmm.
the success and reward starts falling off.
Yeah. I don't know how it is for you, Rodolfo, but like for me, when I get like in my work, I guess,
Hmm.
atmosphere, let's just say I got work, right?
Hmm.
And I get my suit on. I'm a different person than I was when I before I put my suit on,
Oh, no doubt.
because that person is 10 times better than me
Hmm.
than without that suit, right? Because it's a mentality when you put on the suit that I'm focused, I'm doing what I have to do, I got work to do. It's the discipline, it's the heightened state of mind that you have to put yourself into to be able to perform.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. When I go to work, I've recently started doing this. I used to wear like because I work with youth. So I would wear something like this. I don't like to wear anything too flashy because I don't want to come off too strong. Like this guy's just here to get experience or whatever. So I
Hmm.
try to blend in. I try to present myself like equivalent to them. But what I've slightly did, because again, this is like you said, when you put on your suit, that's your field. When I put on just like an Under Armour polo, I have about 5 or 6 of them, red, green,
Hmm.
like a black, gray, blue. When I put that on, to me, that's my form of like morphing into like my like focused state. Like when I put on the polo and I do my hair, like that type of stuff,
Yeah.
that is me preparing for a level of intensity that I'm about to enter.
Mhm.
As I'm driving to work, I'm telling myself, I gotta not crack so many jokes. I gotta kind of really
Mhm.
dial in, focus what needs to get, excuse me, what needs to get done. Start thinking about things that I could do in advance.
Mhm.
And to your point, like just by dressing up, you're already training your body like it's time to go.
Yeah, and just to reiterate it and put into perspective for our viewers here and our listeners, um, when we put on the suit and we're talking about these analogies, that this you're going into the mindset of I'm doing this 120%.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work. I'm not going to my school, job, uh, sports, whatever it might be, just trying to put in 70%.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to put in 80%. We're putting 120%. It's 100% focus and 20% of just that extra oomph, that
Yeah.
I'm gonna be better. And that's what we were talking about with Mike Tyson, is because he had 150%
Oh, I'm talking about
of just,
150.
yeah, just like dude was an animal when it came to I'm fully invested in what I am doing right now, and there's not a thing that's gonna get in my way, and there's not anything that's gonna stop me from achieving what I want to achieve, because he's a focus, he's got the discipline, and he wants to be there.
Yeah. And to help our viewers and listeners out, Eric, I want to propose a resource for the viewers and listeners. And that proposal is the Reminders app. This isn't a sponsor. This isn't an affiliate. You don't I don't get any financial benefit or anything by recommending this app. I believe it's strictly iPhone. I could be wrong, Eric.
Mm,
Reminders
I-
app.
I'm not sure
Um
exactly, but there's different things that.
There is different ones, correct? I would encourage you guys to find some form of reminders app. For me, I have like 5 lists. I have a list for all my appointments. So anything dermatologist, physician related, Louis appointment, my dog Louis, anything appointment related, maybe like a haircut appointment, anything goes into that section. I put a date, I put a time, and I put priority, and it pops up right on your dashboard of your phone. And boom, keeps you accountable. Sometimes I do it a day in advance just so I could start planning, how I'm going to go about my day the following day. But the Reminders app, and again, it's not like the consistency of showing up to my doctor's appointment stuff. It's not like I'm a superhero. I've just taken the few minutes of my day to throw in the reminders, you know. And there's a couple times, Eric, I'm not gonna lie to you, where my fiance was like, "Why are you on your stuff all of a sudden?" Right, and I'm like, "Excuse me?" And I just told her, I said, "Babe, I've been, using that reminders app because she put me on this, Eric, like a year ago. I used it for 2 days, and I deleted the app, like, I literally
Mhm,
deleted it, and, I had forgotten, like, a doctor's appointment one day, and it was just like, "Okay, I need to find a solution," because
mhm,
I'm better than this,
mhm,
and not wasn't necessarily that I'm better than this, I just needed to have the discipline to
mhm.
ensure that I was gonna make my appointments and stuff, and the way I did that is simple. I have the reminders app.
Yeah, the reminders app is good. It's helpful. I used to use it. I don't
Mhm.
use it anymore. I like to just write things on a notebook.
Okay,
That helps me,
okay,
because I'm not much of a technological person. It really,
okay.
like if I get a rubric or an assignment that I need to do, I'll print it out and I'll make scribble marks all over it until that paper has no more white on it.
Okay.
But that's just how I operate. That's just how I find myself to be able to remember things.
Mhm.
So but the Remind app is a great tool. You can write what your lists are. Like you said, you have 5 different lists, which is
Mhm.
awesome, right? Because you have your like daily list, you have
Yeah.
your like
Appointments, yep.
appointments, and categorizing. I think just the mindset of being prepared of your week
Yes.
and being prepared for what's to come, uh, puts it in more perspective, and you being able to complete those things, because once you put it down in a date at a time, then
Yes.
it's like, okay, I have to do this, not rather
Mhm,
than it's being up in the air like, yeah, I have it, but it's not really this, and then you end up
mhm.
never doing it because it gets pushed off till tomorrow.
Yeah, very true, very true. Um, you got any topics for us, Eric? I burned through mine, thankfully.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, what do
Um,
you got in your answer?
so recently my dad bought, I don't know what you know about that Traeger, the smoker.
Oh,
It
yeah,
Yeah, it's that
yes,
barbecue
yes.
thing, the Traeger, and he just bought it and he started making some new recipes on it. I think it was like he made smoked salmon,
Okay.
and wow, I never knew how much better, I don't know if that's the right wording, but how better the salmon is smoked, or just
Yes, yes.
anything is when you put it on a grill and you smoke it with like the
Mhm,
wood,
mhm.
and it's
Yeah,
super good.
tri-tip. Have you heard of tri-tip?
Mm-hmm.
That's what your dad needs to smoke for
Mm-hmm.
sure. That stuff's good. The meat is so good. If you do it right, you gotta smoke it right, Eric. You can't just try it. Yeah. Tri-tip's amazing. I'm a little bit more on the well done side, but if you want to smoke it and be on the what is it called? The rare side, that's what you want for
Mhm.
sure. Tri-tip. Man, that's one of the things, Eric, that I've always wanted. Like when I finally get my own place, like my own house and stuff, is I would definitely want like my own grill, but I'm a Mexican, so not like a smoking grill, like more of like the the vendor ones,
Yeah,
the big square
that
ones. Oh,
yeah.
I'm talking about making breakfast on there and just
Mhm.
doing my own thing. I think like a grill would definitely be like a stamp for me.
Yeah. Yeah, those food that you can make is endless, and that's what I love about cooking is that
Hmm.
the possibilities are endless. You can just be like, what do I want today? Like, oh, I want this, but I only have these ingredients, right? And you
Yeah.
just have to make with it as if from what the ingredients that you have.
Hmm.
When it's somewhere with life, because people don't always have the same ingredients, right?
Yeah.
Same quote
Yeah.
unquote ingredients. But people have more support. Some people don't have as much support. But that's one of the things is that you just got to find what works for you,
Hmm.
and what the ingredients you have. You just got to make the best of it.
Yeah, definitely. That's everything on my end, Eric. You got anything else to say on your end, sir?
Just a reminder for everyone to keep working hard, and then
Yes.
it's gonna be consistent. You got to be consistent with what you're doing, right? Because you can't go 4 out of 5 days. You can't go 5 out of 7 days, or
Hmm.
even 1 out of 7 days, right? You
Hmm.
you can start that, right? You can start to develop it, and if it's new to you, and you
Hmm.
can go to it, but eventually you need to start to being consistent. And why we say you need to be consistent is because it's you can't achieve it unless you stay consistent, right? You
Yeah.
with the whole Mike Tyson, you're not going into it with 70% or
Yeah.
50%. When you commit your mind to something, you commit it 120%. And if you really want to be on that Mike Tyson level, you go 150.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I love watching his old videos and you'd hear the commentators saying that he has intentions to hurt. And to me, like I love that, not necessarily like the pain he's about to bring, but more of just that mentality of just like you're in it just to win it, you're in it to really like put your stamp on
Hmm.
that match. Like, you have intentions to hurt. And I know that doesn't necessarily carry into every career,
Hmm.
you can have an intention to hurt if you're like an attorney or something. I get it. But just that idea of you have intentions to make like to prove your point, I guess is
Hmm.
what I'm trying to say. It's really hard to beat someone who's out there to make a statement.
Hmm.
um, but that's gonna do it, you guys, for our podcast for episode number 20.
Woo woo.
Yeah. We're happy to have you guys. We're gonna keep these things going. Maybe for like the 30th episode, we could do a raffle or something. Bring on
Hmm.
extremely special guests. Oh, speaking of special guests, I'm gonna be going to a chiropractor pretty soon.
Hmm.
This chiropractor has been my fiance and her family's chiropractor for like 10 years.
Oh wow.
So he's like the real deal.
Hmm.
Um, he does like a lot of I don't even know what it's called. Like he has like these little like containers like of like garlic and something, and like he'll like hover it over your body and tell you what you need to cut out of your diet in order for like like people who have slight eczema or people who have like dry skin or blah blah blah,
Mhm.
or immune system issues. He'll do like some type of something, and he's like, yeah, you know, you need to lay off this. I would definitely, and then boom, like he's on it. His wife, you know what? I'm actually gonna save that for the podcast. But you guys, in short, he's seen tremendous results.
Mhm.
Um, with, you know, cancer patients and
Oh, wow.
just regular patients. He's boosting their diets, and he's getting them straightened out. Of course, he's a chiropractor, so he's snapping necks and cashing checks. But yeah, it's definitely another potential guest that I would love to have on the show. But we're out of here, you guys. So thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Rodolfo Felix.
And co-host Eric.
This is the Mindtality Podcast. We are out of here. Peace.
Out.